Hi everyone, I'm just setting up for our beautiful winter meditation. As you're joining me, perhaps you'll enjoy the music, perhaps you're just going to take a moment to get settled in and find your grounded space. Perhaps you will want to collect your oils for our meditation. We're going to go through 3 phases of our meditation, and I will talk through the oils that I'm using. And if you have the yoga collection, bring those alongside with you. And if you don't, bring 3 oils to our space, to your meditation today. I recommend tree oil for our first stage, and that's going to be our rooting, our anchoring experience. I recommend a herb oil or a grass oil, like a lemongrass or a tea tree, rosemary. Rosemary is coming out strongly for me. Maybe that's the one for you today. A herb or a grass for our median, for our second space of meditation. And for our third space, our rising, I recommend a citrus oil, something to bring you into your consciousness and finding the beauty and the light of the moment. So citrus oil will be our third stage. And with any of these oils, if you're called to blend with these oils for your meditation today, bring yourself a floral. The florals blend beautifully with each of the 6 sources, the other 5 sources of essential oils. And when you bring yourself a floral, you're bringing in the soothing, the nurturing, the love of that which you can access. And if you have a lavender or even a geranium, a ylang-ylang, they're beautiful oils that each have their own unique characteristics. And if you have it, a rose oil brings you this tremendous, tremendous vibration. If you're up for a beautiful soul connecting experience today and you have a rose oil, maybe rose is for you. So as we get settled in, bring your oils to your space. Have a journal ready. This is going to be an active meditation. A journal and a pen, something somewhere where you can make some of your notes, take them out of your mind and put them into paper so that you can refer back to later on as you live the value of this time that you're investing. So the pen and paper, the oils, a space to sit. As I record this video, I am sitting, and you might want to sit as well. I'm going to set the music, take you for a moment as you gather those things. Maybe you'll pause the video, maybe you'll sit with me, and we can start to come into our space and be ready. There it comes. I'm feeling called to have a candle burning today. In January and in this winter time, where it's the energy of settling in, cocooning, and slowing down a bit. And in that time, I'm not sure if there's more calling happening or if we're cocooned and connected so that we hear them, but several souls have been called in my space, and my candle reminds me that if they've left their physical body, that their spirit is still a part of our being and our connection with all of the universe, and that they're here with me in their beautiful place. The energy of the earth. All right. As we work through this meditation, I am modeling something that I do to help my mind. One of the ways that I attend to the well-being of my mind is through meditation and through brain work. I think meditation in my practice is a very, very broad definition. I'm presenting a fairly classic example of meditation here with you today. And there are some days where I get this beautiful time, where I take this and I create this beautiful opening of space and time and quiet and absorption of all the energy. Some days I get to do this. Some days I'm driving in my car, I'm taking my daughter to school, we're getting groceries, we're doing all the things, we're getting dishes done, we're having our meals, we're interacting with all the others in our family. And meditation takes on a different space for me, takes on a different demonstration. And I am committed to these activities in all of these spaces because it helps me to recognize the strengths of my mind and to prod my mind into the positive pathways that I know that I'm capable of, and we're all capable of. When we think about our mind well-being, I think it's an action of watching the capacity of your brain and being astounded. We are capable of incredible creativity and thought and decision making and absorption of information and translation of what we're thinking into actions. When you start watching your brain, my word, we're capable of a lot. We're also capable of getting into habits. And one of the habits that I got gotten into was difficult thinking pathways and repetitive thinking pathways, and some of that, monkey mind, where I'd be busy. You can see my hands, like it was just busy in there. And then it was my brain sort of try to survive and sort of clamp down and do what I would call worst case scenario thinking, where I would prep myself for worst case scenarios just in case. Holy moly, that took a lot of thinking. That was a difficult mental wellness piece for me. And that lasted for probably 20 years, I would say. And I have chosen to not live that way anymore. Where I used to have those difficult thinking pathways, I slowly, moment by moment, day by day, week and month, and season by season, over the last 6 seasons, I would say, I have worked to bring my mind out of those difficult survival mode, worst case scenario thinking patterns into appreciation and gratitude for the capacity of my mind and amazement in the creativity and optimism that I can find. And it started with the simplest of meditations, and it started with my hand. When I learned about affirmations, and affirmations for me are the quickest meditation that I can do in a day. An affirmation is having a simple sentence that I can repeat to myself that helps me to see the light, helps me to be grateful, helps me to acknowledge my creativity. And when I started learning about affirmations, I would do them 5 times each. So when I felt those difficult mind patterns coming on, when I felt an uncomfortable and unwell mental moment coming on, I would latch onto one of my sentences. Sometimes I wrote them down, sometimes they went into my phone, and eventually I started to remember them. And I would say them 5 times, and I often would have my hands on the steering wheel, and I would say them, and I would just touch the steering wheel each time I repeated the statement. So if it was something like, I remember my first ones, my first affirmations was, there is love all around me. And I would say, there is love all around me. I touch the steering wheel. There is love all around me. There is love all around me. There is love all around me. And there's love all around me. And that would be 5 repetitions. 5 repetitions of that affirmation. And sometimes that was enough. And sometimes I needed to go the other hand. And sometimes I needed to continue to repeat that. But that was meditation for me. And those affirmations are something that, if you'd like to explore, I'd be really happy to continue a conversation with you around tailoring an affirmation for you, or seeking resources and models and examples of affirmations that maybe would suit your days and would be a tool for you as you attend to and nurture your mental well-being. Today, I do have a classic meditation for you, and I mentioned it's going to be an active meditation because with this meditation, we will take some quiet time, and then we will journal. And I'll give you some sound space to just have a few moments to journal. And like I was saying, for me, journaling is taking all of the thoughts that are building in my mind and getting them on paper so that I don't have to hold them anymore. I can leave my breathing space open for the next experiences coming into me. So when we do our meditation today, do settle in, do have your journal ready, and start yourself with a few breaths to come into your body. Here we go. Let's slow my speaking down a little. Another breath to come into your mind. I find sometimes I get some movement when I come into these spaces, and take the time to breathe, to feel where you're coming in. On your next breath, do come into your heart. So we acknowledge all four dimensions of our whole being. And another breath to come into your spirit. We all breathe in our own way, filling ourselves with the energy that sparkles around us. One of the imageries that I've learned to use in my meditation time is that when I breathe in, I'm drawing in that energy from the universe, from all that is around me, especially nature. And when I breathe out, I think about breathing out through all of my ends, down to my legs, out through my arms, up through my head, and that energy flowing through me as I bring in more and release what is used to go back to the universe. Continue breathing and come back to a semi-consciousness where you're with me, and reach for your first oil, your tree oil. And remember, you might be blending a floral with it to bolster that love connection that we can create. The oil that I've chosen is the first in the yoga series called Anchor. And Anchor has tree oils in it. It has some floral oils in it, if I double check. It's primarily tree oils. Some black pepper in there. It's one of my favorites. And the first of the three in the yoga series is called Anchor. And at this moment, I'm going to take the Anchor oil. I'm going to put a drop where my legs are crossed. I'm going to put a drop onto my sole, and then I'm going to rub my feet together. You might see a little bit of it as I do imagine. So I'm going to drop onto my foot, and then I am going to rub my feet together. I'm also going to rub my feet with my hands. Connecting, one of my favorite parts of some of the yoga practice I've had is a connection with my feet. And remembering that that's the space of my body that connects with the earth. When I walk and I spend my days, That's the part of my body that takes me where I'm going. And some moments there are some really beautiful, significant thoughts that come with that. So give my feet a little bit of a rub. And my feet were fairly clean. I'm also going to take some deep breaths with that oil to bring it right into my limbic system so that my brain recognizes the oils that my body is absorbing right now. And take 4 deep breaths. I've taken that oil in. My body is recognizing, my brain is recognizing it, my body is absorbing it. I invite us now to be in our anchoring with the earth, our anchoring with where we sit, where we are in our life. And recognize and wonder, what is your anchor? What is your connection with that which is created for us? Do you feel like you are in a sitting space? Or is laying down the space that you're in? You're resting and letting that which is created for you hold you at this time in your journey. Maybe you're standing. Are you ready? Is this a time when you want to be balanced and agile, activating your energy? Wonder about your anchor, that which supports you, that tool of your balance that marks your place in all that is. As your imagery or your words or your memories of your anchors are coming to you, take time to journal them. Come into that semi-conscious state where you can pick up your pen. You can jot down a few words. Maybe you're going to draw a brief image. Bring something to your notebook that will remind you of your anchor. As you come out of your anchor space, pick up your second oil. You might have chosen a herb or a grass. You might have a mint in there. The oil that I have is called Lime from the Yoga Collection, and it is an oil around balancing and in that center space where the center between where we are rooted and where we're going. And how do we hold ourselves in that space? How do we hold ourselves and keep ourselves aligned along that path with all that interests us and draws us and pulls us or pushes us in our journey? What brings us to our center and keeps our connection with that journey that we're on? The align blend is also called the centering blend. And so when I use the align blend, I'm calling to use it over my lower chakras, so my base and my sacral chakra, maybe up into my solar plexus as well. I'm hearing that, and when I use my oils in my meditation, I do take the moment to hear it. There is some habitual, I put my grounding oil on my feet, I experience, but I'm also listening, also feeling the movement in my body. I'm feeling the warmth. Where is my energy calling for that support? So I'm going to take 2 drops of the Align blend, and I'll rub it between my palms. If you've been to my class, you know what safe practices and keep your fingers out. We know that these oils won't injure our bodies, but they could be intense. Oh, I'm drawn to take those breaths. I'm going to take those 4 deep breaths. Let my mind, my brain just register the signals that these oils offer me. And then I'm going to bring them to my chakra space. Those detoxifying herbs are calling me to action, and I'm hearing the call to sit up. I'm going to sit up on my heels, my legs under me, and I've got those oils. So I'm going to sweep up my body, sweep up from my hips, across my abdomen. I'm feeling a little in the back. Just bringing my awareness to those spaces. And I'll let myself center into that alignment, meditating with the word align. What are my priorities? What keeps me on my path? What actions do I take in self-care and daily habit decisions to nurture my body, my mind, my whole being, my heart, and my soul? What self-care do I do so that I am capable and activating my whole body, my whole being, to be able to stay aligned? Conscious and unconscious efforts and acknowledgements am I tuning into? How do I make alignment happen? Again, as those images or words, maybe those to-do lists or reminders of self-care, of healthy meals, of affirmations that you might want to use. As those come to you, take a moment and write them down. Journaling to take all that you've generated and bring it down onto paper so that you don't have to hold it. Your paper will do that for you. You can always refer back to it when you hear that call. That sound you might hear in my house is a blender. I'm not the only person who lives here. We will come back to a quiet space when it's done. Our third stage of the meditation is to reach for a citrus oil. I'm reaching for the blend called Arise. And this is where the excitement comes. This is where the joy, where the hopes and the dreams and the look forwards to and the treasures will come out maybe. I have the oil blend called Arise from the Yoga Collection, and Arise has those beautiful citruses in it, and also has some Siberian fir to open up and lift us, and the citruses to clean out our gunk, but also help us find the beauty and the optimism and the joy, the high notes, the excitement of what's coming to us. And I'm going to take these oils and I'm going to I'll take my sweater off. I can feel the calling that my body wants these oils on them. So I think it's going to go to my shoulders and my neck, maybe even a spot up on my, maybe up on my forehead. I'm going to take 2 drops in my palm, and I will use my fingertip. I can just hear the calling. I'm going to get these oils on me. And you use your oils the way you're called. It might be on you, might be around you, maybe it'll be into a diffuser. Yeah, right there. And we'll take that moment to breathe in deeply. Oh, there's tangerine in here. It's just yummy. Oh, I just feel the lift of that blend. I said tangerine, but I wonder if it's mandarin. Grapefruit, osmanthus, melissa oil. That's a beautiful, beautiful high vibrancy oil. So that Arise blend or the citrus blend that you might have chosen to use, and this is the lifting time. This is the part of our meditation where we take a moment to wonder what lifts us, what fuels us, what are we reaching for, what brings us to open up and see what is possible, what is available for us, what is waiting for us along our path. This beautiful, beautiful uplift. When I've done this meditation in the past, I have felt drawn to stand right up. I've stretched into, those full expressions of my body and brought that energy right into me with some of our beautiful breathing we might have learned in our practices of yoga and meditative movement. If you're feeling called to rise up, to stand, to feel the full expression of your physical presence. Maybe there's some stretching, maybe there's some reaching out, maybe there's some movement. Meditation doesn't have to be our seated posture. It doesn't have to be our quiet and our contemplation and our disconnecting from the physical. It can be a celebration of how much we have been given and how much we are, knowing that we are all that we need to be. My friend Cheryl Moore, that you're very familiar with, says it beautifully when we meditate, and I don't quite have her words, and maybe she'll share them with us in the comments later, but she says it beautifully that when we recognize how much we are and how much the universe has created in us, that we are loved. We are receiving all that fuels us. Take time as you meditate to wonder what makes you rise. What is the sparkling fuel that courses through you? Just waiting to make you smile, waiting to bolster your heart, your mind, your body, and your spirit, your whole being. What is it that feeds you, that fuels you? What makes you rise? When we find those joy pieces, those joy sparkles, those are some of the keys to our mindfulness and our mental well-being. The pathways of joy in our neurological structure reach much farther and wider than those when we close in on our difficulties and our frustrations. When you open up, feel that opening of joy. Feel the flow of energy through your musculature, through your structural joints, through your actions, your walk and your talk and your thoughts. When you're working on affirmations, we make them positive. We make them acknowledgement of what is and what is possible, because that's when we open the flow. And that's when we open our greatest expression of who we are. So as you're making your notes here about rising and celebrating and fueling, know that this is where your juice is. This is where your sparkle is. And this is what lets you flow. This is a space where you might want to use a phrase that I've learned from my beautiful friend, Katie Wilkin. And when Katie and I were working together on forming my mind pathways and integrating them and just doing some beautiful, beautiful opening, she taught me the very simple phrase, more please. Maybe you want to label a few pieces in your journal today with more please. And fuel yourself. As we spend this time in winter, reflecting, reviewing, and cuddling in and refueling, and recognizing the beauty that is within us. I'm feeling our meditation coming to an end, coming to a conclusion for now. Certainly, use this video as often as you want. In any of the seasons, this is definitely a settle in, cocooning season of winter, and this meditation is beautiful for that because you're reflecting on your rooting, on your anchor, on your alignment, and on your rising, and know that can help you with your mental wellness. Setting the pathways in your mind that help you to reach into each of those parts of your walk and nourishing all the parts of your being, your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. When you hear those pieces, know that you have an intuitive voice. Know that it speaks to you. Know that when you tune in, when you walk the walk of your intuition, you start to respond to some of those nudges that you're given, it can be that easy, and it can be that beautiful, and it can be that nourishing, and you can feel that love so thoroughly. Hear your intuition, practice your intuition. And if I can guide you, if Cheryl can guide you, if any of us on our team are the piece that help you to access that, please connect with us. We love to learn. We love to live, love, and sharing is one of the most bountiful celebrations of what we do. And I hope that this is a wonderful experience for you too. Take care.